spinning up Lovable apps in my personal account like all the time.
Wow.
So it just helps me understand the product very well. So I'm my own customer too. So I'm staying in that mind frame and I don't separate from it.
Well, welcome everybody to Customer-Led Growth, a podcast where we explore how some of the greatest leaders of our times build for the customers through their customers. Today, I'm super excited to have Elena Verna, who is the head of growth at Lovable, arguably the fastest growing company in history of software. But before that, had a legendary career in defining what modern product growth looks like. So, Elena, super excited to chat with you today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, right. Lovable is growing so fast that the metrics almost don't mean much. Like right now, it's like all about just like understanding the different personas using product and knowing where to focus, right?
And really to chase that innovation. Like we still have to almost, I know we have maybe over $100 million in revenue, but we still feel like we have to recapture our product market fit every single month because the category is evolving so quickly. So we don't feel like we're in the scaling stage. We're almost still in the product market fit stage with just crazy amount of revenue that is coming in from the product market fit pool that we're feeling at the same time. But I also just want to say that when the company is growing so fast, it also gives me opportunity to go and lay down bigger bets and bigger foundations that otherwise I would never have a chance to do or resourcing to allocate.
That's true.
Versus this is like, okay, it's a runaway train for revenue, which is amazing, which gives me opportunity to put down the foundation. So if the growth slows down, I will have the pillars and blocks in place that I can leverage to re-accelerate that growth, which is literally exactly what I'm doing at the moment.
And maybe like it Lovable. The other dimension which is very important is like the number of channels where your customers are talking. And also the scale of customers who are now, like great companies are able to sign up as like a customer base in digital products, right? So how has that angle like changed basically how you think about keeping attuned with like, customer needs, like what are they happy with, what are the desires, where they're struggling with for different personas?
I give customer support a really big role into what I'm doing, and the same thing is happening on core product as well. So we're very in tune with it. So if we feel that frustration bubble up through our customer support reps, we need to address it because it's at that point it has become too big. At the same time, I think communities is what's interesting because you can create a community that you own and you moderate, but then there's communities started to pop up all over the place. So we have our community at Lovable on Discord, and it's huge. It has thousands and thousands of people in it. So we have community moderators that are trying to scrape information and give us trends as well as to what's going on. They live and breathe that data, and they come back to us in aggregated form. Reddit community, we even had to hire somebody to monitor that because that was like a runaway train too, with so much feedback. And then on LinkedIn, on X, on Instagram through comments, even on TikTok. I mean, it's flowing at us through every single channel. And on one hand, it's really beautiful because it feels like you're surrounded by customer voices. And I like that more than 15 years ago where you had to pull it out of your support queue or even at SurveyMonkey. Like nobody ever talked about SurveyMonkey, let's say on social platforms. Like it was not that. So maybe Lovable is also just a unique category in that sense where just a lot more people have strong opinions about us and what we do and what we don't do. But I really love it because I feel like I'm living in my customer's world and it's shouting at me from every single direction. And so it's more of a prioritization and filtering problem as opposed to like trying to go out and get customer feedback.
And do you have any rituals for like just like staying attuned to like living in the customer world and making sure like you're...
I do. So I have two rituals that are very important to me. One of them I've had all the way from my SurveyMonkey days, and that I have to be my own customer of my own product that I'm working at. So at SurveyMonkey, that would be that I would get up and almost every 2 to 3 days, I would come in, I'd create a new account with a temp email, and I would go through the entire flow of sending a survey to somebody just to stay super close to the product. So I knew every single detail, every single nitty-gritty point and pixel and where everything is. And I still do it. I did it at Miro. I did it, it was harder at Amplitude, but I would create a bunch of charts. So it's harder to onboard on Amplitude. I did it at Dropbox. I'm definitely doing it at Lovable. I'm spinning up Lovable apps in my personal account like all the time. So it just helps me understand the product very well. So I'm my own customer too. So I'm staying in that mind frame and I don't separate from it. But then at the same time now, because there's so many channels, I have my rounds that I do across the channels. So for 15 minutes a day, 3 times a day, I do my rounds against Reddit, against Discord, against LinkedIn.
Wow.
And I go and I see what I see and like where we're getting tagged. Some places I respond where I feel the response is necessary. The rest is just the inflow of information that I then use my brain to sort through to recognize patterns.
Yeah, wow, okay, yeah. A side note, we'll, like, as you scale it, Enterprise can potentially
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But right now, I also just love to see people, like their passion in the channels, but absolutely, it's not scalable. And I most definitely will start seeing only power users shouting at me really loudly. But right now, there's still so many trends to
still very new
pattern.
So like, for most companies, like 95%, maybe like 99%, right? You have a 3-pronged attack basically of like young startups, like large behemoths, but also like these foundational model companies. What would you advise me to the most of the companies that who are facing this? How do they drive customer-led growth? Like how do they maximize CLTV, customer lifetime value, basically?
Yeah, I think if you are in the optimization stage of your business, which is a lot of businesses in that 99% category, an optimization category, I think you have to pull your head out of the data, quantitative data, and really open up your mind to qualitative data and start looking for patterns there. But tactically speaking, I would focus on 2 specific things. Number one, in this market, especially with AI, velocity becomes everything. How quickly you can get to an outcome that your customer wants you to get to. You have no more ability to wait 8 months, a year to develop something because you need to refactor your database or because you need to do this big migration or because you have a bunch of tech debt to deal with. Customer does not care. There's a bunch of solutions pop up and they're going to start exploring. Everybody will have a wondering eye. So I think fixing velocity organizationally becomes one of the really big things. And there's many ways to do it. We're not going to go into it, but like you have to think about the velocity of shipping. On marketing, on product, on growth, on support, like every function should be able to start shipping really fast to customer. And then the second thing that I would most definitely prioritize if I worked at any other business is building moats or building ecosystems, giving the reason for customer to be with you outside of just core product offering, because that is starting to be not enough. With democratization of product development and the lowering of cost of software development, having great product, everybody can all of a sudden build it. Maybe not very complex product, but we're getting there. We're gonna get there. So finding a moat, whether it's integrations, whether it's your network effects, whether it's your virality, whether it's the way that you price on the outcome and like you highly align to it, whatever it is, find it of the reason a customer would stay with you, whether it's switching costs, by the way, that also can be a really good one. But you need to find your moat outside of just product value.
Elena, thank you so much for your time. This was lovely.
Thank you. I appreciate having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.